the FaZe Nerd Street Gamer Invitational as well, split to start things off. And this is one of the maps where, chosen by TSM, they actually have like the same standard combo that we usually see.
How to play with Drone leading the charge. So we'll see what I think is probably going to be the Brimstone. Brack's going to find an early pick, the Brimstone for Sabrosa. But already there's a lot of action towards the middle here, and it's really going to go the way of the man advantage here for T1. Food just doing what Food does. He'll take out a lot of those members, and now FaZe, the last member standing here for TSM. Not a whole lot can be done, but the pistol on it. But
you still want to do the econ damage. Now he drops down. They're going to hear him. He spots first. He sees two guys, one from the spawn side. The orbs are coming down as well from the AZ. Oh, actually, AZ is playing as an Omen, so that's changed a bit, at least from the composition of T1 side. So now FaZe is going to have to repeat versus Skadoodle, who is keeping the stage to this map, and probably going to be the stage offer too. Going for that wide swing. He does get the kill stolen by Brax, who's playing as that Cypher, and T1 lights it up with the first pistol round in their favor. Front, but it's still going to give an area for Sabrosa to pick up the operator that's going to peek through, and Crashies gets punished for that one. So a match slope that's capitalized here from TSM, but a counter Paranoia to come through as AZK gets the kill onto Drone. Now a 3-on-2 situation with the spike down to get the res up for a 3 versus 3. The ult will be picked up by Wardell once he makes it back towards short. And that might be the call for them to fall back because they still have a lot of time to work with.
Doodle holding on here, but Wardell's going to find one early pick, and now as he sneaks around the corner into the wall and revenge, it's sweet. Still has to deal with Food. He's now under 3 as the Bulldog switches to the knives, and it's going to go straight to the dome. Now the 1v1 Brax versus Wardell, and Brax already in the sewers. Here he comes, and the headshot connects, and T1, they continue their lead. Like from Ramen, it's going to be very difficult. They need a couple of picks on this site over here to make it work. But having the man advantage for T1 allows them to spread things out, have members towards the A site, and just hold. Well, that's all they really need to do. TSM gaining a lot of ground towards Heaven here, but Food, he's going to be in a great position for both of them at the peak, but he's going to be taking out the headshot. Still wants more, and Drone, he'll be in position taking out Food. And now down to the 2v4, TSM have got a very difficult task ahead of pushing into this B site.
Because on top of that, the spike is down towards this connector at the Ramen, as I said before. Able to get the entries because of that. This 2 versus 2 into the site. It's a couple of trades. They're trying to get the gun kills, but there was still a 2 versus 1 with no time left.
You said they're down to a very uncomfortable position. Brax unfortunately misses that cyber cage. And now they'll still make their way through here for TSM. Spike likely going to go down shortly, but that camera going to spot a lot of these members in the back of sight. Still, that camera will be taken out. Spike is down.
Joke's over!
You're dead! I'm free to run it back and clear things out. Remember, this is an eco, so any frags from TSM are good frags. Brax already with 2. Now trying to get into the back of sight. He's going to have to deal with Crossfire. One is going to be good, and then with the run it back all along, FaZe in a 2v5 with the taken out in Heaven. And it's a flawless round here for T1. Pretty understandable, but for TSM, it's a very important round for them to win. Coming up next, gonna find a little bit of information in the back of sight, but TSM, they still need to push in. And now here it's APK ready with the counter push. He's gonna find 2, sorry, not counter, defense, and now 1 more underneath Heaven. Likely gonna get taken out shortly. Brax, unfortunately, misses that gun to one. Wardell in the middle. Now it's down to the 1v1. Wardell, after that resurrection, finds 2 and on Skadoodle, but there's no time for the spike plant. TSM going to lose yet another round, but very, very close round, despite how it looks right now. 6-1 lead here for T1. Eco for TSM. But now the gun round comes in. And yet another round that is very important. That's AZK, he's caught with a paranoia in his hand, and Wardell, he slices and he slices, but it's Skadoodle that ends the terror. Now 3v4, spike going down. Let's see how T1 answers this retake.
Well, on top of that, you have a neural theft, so very difficult for T1 to try to come back into this round. And they go for the counter. So they force out Drone to peek out, and he wins that fight at least versus Skadoodle. So Brax still on spawn side. Molly on the ground, wasting a lot of time so they could really focus just on the Heaven. And you can see it. Brax is already falling back. He's going to pick up the operator for Skadoodle, and they will decide to save these weapons. A showstopper as he dashes towards the air. He goes for the uppers, and now it's still going to be a push moving forward. And AZK spams it across, but they don't know that Haze is in this smoke. So he's going to go for a huge backstab. The second kill. He gets a second kill, and that is going to be now a for Drone. double. Now at 1 versus 1, that clock is still ticking down. What a res here to give the round for TSM to make sure that they get the round and solidify that. But boy, oh boy, was that an expensive round. Gun round coming in for T1. One at the elbow, one towards the left side, playing super passively here for the defenders. But Food's in a great position. Spotted drone on this rotation as it's coming back towards spawn. Sabrosa, though, is in a great spot to try to counter it back. So he puts a molly on the ground, but at least the timing's off. So a favor coming in for T1 so they could focus on 3 players inside the A site now, but they have to act quick. So Frost Orbs on the ground, AZK still hopping around his corner, and Wardell this time is waiting for it. Food gets a kill onto Cutler, though Crashy's still in the back by the screen. The curveball to come out, that's going to land onto Hayes, who's still pushing forward towards screen. He puts the wall up, so he can get advantage here of the elbow side, but he will not win that fight versus Crashies, who is still anchoring strong inside the back of the screens. So Wardell, with his teammate Sabrosa, will have to try to clutch here. This 2 versus 3, Sabrosa is still on the top at Heaven.
Oh, Crashy's going perfect. Unfortunately, he's going to fall. Food there with the refrag, now down to the 2v1. Brax has finally joined the frame. Wardell has to play this massively. Spike one down. He doesn't have a whole lot of time. Food knows that, so has to force the issue. So T1 win yet another round.
Or cross first towards the Heaven side of B. Prepare so now it works well in their favor. They're going for the orbital strike towards the Heaven, but goes for the 3K into the round. Food already there to support. Only one more player to go. It's going to be Cutler looking to clutch. He gets the first kill with a headshot onto Food. He takes the spike. He's on a 2 versus 1, but we have 2 ultimates right now for the defenders. Nothing here for Cyber Paranoia to come out first, and he's going to get wall banged, headshotted by Crashies. It's going to be 9-3 in favor of T1 on this first half.
Out by that tripwire, there it goes, and now TSM are like, oh no. Gambled the wrong site. I mean, they saw action to it early, and I understand the read. Like, okay, there is one down. Let's try to hold this to see what happens. But now the retake on a pistol, and the wall is up. It's going to be so hard to push in.
Yeah, and at least the rotation was quick, right? Cutler made sure that he kept looking at that minimap. As soon as it was broken, the rotate happened right away. So they had to focus on that. A first trade, a second one to be attempted by Food, who's looking with the classic, but Cutler wins the fight. So somehow it's turned around. We have a 3 versus 3. It's still even, but Brax gets the first kill on this rotation as they finally make it into the site for TSM. A second to fall, a third to fall, courtesy of AZK. So that pistol round that TSM really needed, that Simo was talking about here, is won by T1.
Peeks him, just do it. He won't miss, I promise. Here's the paranoia. They're a little worried. That's the showstopper. I would be even more concerned, but it's denied by the Clutchler. That's 2 for him. Wardell with the 3rd. They're really making this defense work. Now having to escape. He will get out of there. Sabrosa going to find another. All down to Crashies. The defense worked out perfectly for them. And now the Molotov to make matters even worse. He's still going to get the plant down for Wardell. He's feeling confident. The spray is good. And TSM live to see another day. T1, Skadoodle, he's got a great angle. Once he knows that all of these players are towards the opposite side, hold with his team. Now they come in. Crash is going to find one with the running back. He's going to find 2. And that's Wardell sent to the graveyard by Skadoodle. And T1 are at map point.
I saw a Bulldog really quickly. I saw a pistol. They don't have much to work with, so they have to try to move aggressively. And Sabrosa gets 3 kills, forces Ramenstein. And that is only 3 for 1. Food Runa running in right now with the satchel charges is able to get that frag onto Cutler. So they open up B, but they also have taken control of mid side with that spike. They know that Brax somehow is still going to be lurking towards his A, so Drone is still staying back.
Brax, unfortunately, very separated from Food. I mean, it's good social distancing practicing, but at the end of the day, for Food, it's not going to be good. It doesn't work out for him. They can't swing together. He's going to be taken out. Sabrosa almost with the ace. And for the side of T1, you open up tab, you open up the scoreboard, say to yourself, wait a second.
I have retrieved the spike.
That's a pretty good pick. Now he has the spike. He might actually jet line over towards the A site, but he goes towards B. Wardell's actually going to be there. He's going to team with the op, and he's going to send him down. But, you know, the team believes in Sabrosa. T1, they're not safe either. They still have a couple of their own little slip-ups too. But now, the spike, of course, gone down. T1 with a great basket. That's a flash from Crashies. Has to deal with the people coming in from behind. They're coming in actually from above. So far, it's 2 frags for TSM. That's 3, that's 4. Down to 1 final player. Crashies gonna find one early. Has to escape back towards his hole. With that spike, tick, he lives down. Oh, wow. That's gonna be another. Almost has enough to run it back, actually. That's the spray is good, but it's Wardell holds the angle. TSM, another round on the board for them. They stay alive for yet another round.
So 4 versus 4, they still have a res too. This is when they want to work back towards Sid. If they can actually get this kill into Ace, he gets 2 of his own. Finally, it's traded off. And thankfully, he actually killed the res from the now Drone's trying to peek out. You do have the neural theft. He's now spotted inside the site. They're full spotted. Cutler forced to fall back. And as they're moving in, Drone wins it versus Food. There's only 7 seconds left on the clock. Brax has to go for the immediate kill. And look at that. They're playing for the time. They're running back. They're running away. They're securing the round. And Drone even secures the kill.
But this pistol puts us 12-9 in the offense. Crazy. So, which might happen. They find one, but they'll mow down the rest that push in. Spike will go down for ACK, and at least they get that money in.
You will not kill my ally.
So Best comes in, Sabrosa's gonna try to at least spray in, but now that Foodie gets involved and it's a headshot for Sabrosa, sends him back down. And while that res was supposed to come in, it was quickly taken care of by Sabrosa. Now pushes in, they don't know he's there, finds a pick onto Crashies, and it's a great round.
And 4.
Make that a 4K, holy crap. So he's looking for the ace right now. Brax, as they spotted him early with the camera towards that mid-round, 10 seconds left on the clock. He's going to have to try to save his Phantom into the next. But a nice flawless round so far coming in for TSM. They're really trying to hunt him down. And he's going to get 1 or 2 kills actually, and finally it's traded off. There's actually one more still alive. It's going to be AZK. As Wardell still pushing forward, the right click does not come into his favor. AZK gets the kill, and he should survive at this point, and he will.
IGLs for the team. We're ready to try to stop any of these pushes forward. Here they come. Orbital strike is going to make it that much more difficult. There's the showstopper, and it's just bad news bears for TSM. But the rest comes in, they nullify those odds, and T1 now. How are they going to push in? They have to deal with the shot that's coming in from heaven. They use the lead on it. The noodle, he actually walls up Wardell. He missed his 3. Has to up in the air, and ACK will take him out. But it's pandemonium on the site. Down to one. Skadoodle, does he have what it takes? Now it's the 1v1. Drone versus Skadoodle. Sorry, Sabrosa versus Skadoodle. Does he have time? 9 seconds remain. Gotta get the spike down. And Sabrosa, he walks right through the barrier orb. 12-11 TSM, 1.1 round away from tying us up and taking us to OT. Picks have been good in the first couple of rounds, hasn't been working out.
Stopped.
Well, we are pushing into the site. 15 seconds left on the clock. They have no money, so we only have a Marshall right now for Elisa's stage. And it's going back and forth, and the clock is still ticking. They're finally getting the plant down. They've cleared out the A site as well, and they have big fraggers for the team. Talking about A, you're talking about Food, and now you're talking about Skadoodle as well. But so Bro is still alive for TSM. Gets the first kill. They also have a heal from the Sage that could be used right now once they meet up, or unless it's on cooldown at least. But Food's in a great position under the heaven. A crossfire set up with Skadoodle as well. The wall is going to come up at the same time, so they might make the switch. Skadoodle gets the first nice. The swing comes through, sorry, from Food, and he gets a 3rd kill onto Drone, and they almost made it to the tie, but they don't cross the finish line, and T1 wins it 13-11. Fall back, and a quick split happening from T1.
Yeah, and we're already seeing some of the things that we predicted. Skadoodle back on the Sova, Sabrosa back on the Phoenix, but that might have to be put on pause. There's an engagement here on the B site. A couple of kills already traded away. Sabrosa back of sight, and he's already calling for some of his team members to start to rotate back over towards this B site. And now, as they funnel in from the defender spawn, Sabrosa's got a pretty big job here to take out at least 1 or 2 members. Make it a lot easier for the rest of the TSM members to funnel in through the vents. But Sabrosa's got to deal with this 2v2 kind of separated right down the middle. Back into the corner he goes, finds Skadoodle. That's a good shot. Now the Molotov as well coming in from the side. Sabrosa finds another one. Drone on the Sova will help get the job done. And now Brax gets caught with his hands in his pockets. Hopefully he's reaching out for the W, but it's going to be the L that he pulls out instead. And TSM win the very first pistol ban. A lot closer than it should have been if you look at the weaponry. Now you're looking at the weaponry. This round, it's 2 Guardians from TSM and an early pick from Wardell through Connector, but Food will answer back. The paint shells as well, looking to try to chip out Rosa, but now he swings with the 1-tap Guardian. He himself will get 1 tap as Wardell will also answer back. Pandemonium here in B short. He gets tagged and now has to retreat.
One is going to put Wardell down to 54. They are trying to move in, waiting for his teammate to rotate, but Food pushed forward from a satchel charge and gets the kill. But you still have Cutler at the elbow. Peaks, first headshot, catches Food off guard. trying to go for the spray through the wall is going to be the Cypher of Brax on the other side, but now Skadoodle is going to move forward. So a 2-for-1 into that push, and a 2 versus 0 pretty much as T1 has won that fight. FaZe is looking to clutch a 2 versus 1. He does have a Hunter's Fury that's coming out here from Skadoodle. They are shooting around the site. He's looking to tap that spike and looking for that spray to come out, or at least a swing to come out from Brax, but Brax does so. Another tap to come through, and that recon dart is going to get so much information away, but he still wins that one. And somehow Skadoodle swings out. FaZe gets the kill, double Guardian kill, and the round comes in for TSM as FaZe gets the defuse. Minimap, all of them are all grouped up towards his A side, and they're looking for some big push as a team to take over the A side.
Now for T1, they've got a lot of light armor, so when they peek through here, and Drone's on the opposite side, they're going to need support from FaZe, and as he peeks forward to try to help Drone, he gets taken out of the process. Throws the back of sight. He's also taken out. The last 2 members remaining for TSM have to rotate back over, but they're like, we want none of this.
Probably Wardell, because Wardell or simply a jet with the Bucky, it does a lot. Orbital strike to come through, that's going to push Rosa away, and AZK even gets the kill. So people are going to call it a waste, Orbital strike versus pistols, but you want to bring every round into your favor. So that's 2 early kills for T1. They're looking to make it a 3 versus 3. They hear the teleporter coming through from the defender's side, and all 3 players are sticking out there. So that's 1 kill from Joan. They've lost 1 player into FaZe with that. Shock comes but that's going to be a trade back. So Cutler makes it 2 kills for the team on Inigo. A dink with the Phantom, and here comes the swing right away from Crashies, and Crashies will win that fight.
He's going to survive just fine.
So Rosa, this is going to be a dangerous one here. The curveball to come out, and he's going to be on his own. It's 2 of them, he gets it, but it's going to be the hot hands on the ground. Thankfully, it was actually the run it back, so the Phoenix still stays alive onto that long B. So Sabrosa stuck inside a corner. Both of his curveballs have been used, and Crashes is moving forward. But Wardell looking for that trade. We heard the off-shot ring, so he did miss the first kill. Actually, it looked like it was a wall bang onto the Cypher, so they know where the last 2 players are at right now for the team. Could still turn it around for T1.
Taken out.
Nope.
Yeah, pretty. Yeah. there was an opportunity.
So they're in a tough position. If at least Brax can get a kill, they get the teleporter into A, and that's exactly what's going to happen. There goes that first kill, and they even get the flanker. So Sabrosa's going to fall. Cutler has to come up huge. He has the operator, as it did have a double up set up here for TSM. And what's going to happen at this point?
Yeah, they call the portal, but Cutler, like you said, now his job becomes even harder. Yes, Drone is in rotation. He smoked off. And now they have to pretty much go through the vents together. The smoke also will cut off the vision of the vents. Now here comes the Hunter's Fury. Actually, Drone gonna fight in there, and he's gonna fight too. Drone tags the second, and now here comes Cutler. He's gonna swing, takes out Skadoodle, and TSM send a message. But now, as Rosa starts to come forward, they are starting to try to pinch in. Now they come in toward Lamps. It's Cutler. He's on the side. They're just playing cat and mouse, but he's going to find one. Food will be able to answer back. And now Wardell, he has to question himself. Will he fight? Will he try to get this spike? He is just looking for exits now at this point. But as that spike's about to blow, there's not really a whole lot left that Wardell can do. And down that op will go. So the scrappy forced up here. Yet another one for T1.
But now we have a run it back from both sides, trying to get information towards B, trying to get information towards A, and we know that it's going to be towards B. But one guy sits up the shell. Cutler is picking up 2. We have the orbital strike coming down, and we have one moving through the teleporter, but he did not take the spike with him. So he's inside the teleporter right now. Skadoodle will try to pick it up as he picks up a Phantom at this point. But a great round to start things off on the defender side for TSM.
And Hayes now all he needs to do is hold his angle. They'll start to come through. Wardell will support from afar. And now Crashy's last member standing. He's got a Bulldog, 0 armor, only has the curveballs, and to be quite honest, even if he finds 1, even if he finds 2, it'll be a little bit difficult to find the remaining 3. So now as he fight, still a 3v5 that they're willing to fight. You know, it's the last round of the half, nothing really to save. Unless you're saving those strats for the major, and TSM definitely do not want to do that. Now as the Play Storm comes in, finds one, has to keep pulling from afar. Now things are a little bit more evened out. Food with the frenzy is able to make it work, and now Wardell has to let those blades fly. Brax gonna find 1, gonna find 2, gonna find 3. And it's T1 giving us a 7-5 finish.
Defender side, and look how confident they are to start. 3 players to push forward into the short A. The Wardell with 1 and 2. Now we have Food throwing everything that he can in terms of satchel charges and also paint shells. And Wardell gets the hat trick on top of that, capitalizing on the paint shells coming down. And that's going to be the A defense pretty much open with the 2 last players looking to rotate for T1.
T1 are able to bring some of those miracles to life. For TSM, all the odds are in their favor for this hold on this A site. Now Skadoodle trying to clear things out to Owl Drone. Smokes on smokes now, puts Skadoodle last one in the mix, and it's Wardell with 4 on the round that give TSM the much needed pistol, thinking maybe there might be a push forward, but now as the smokes come in, they have to be a little bit careful. But Skadoodle walks out. He sneezes onto Drone. Wardell, he will be able to at least answer back, but that spike's got to go down at some point, and Brax sitting in the tuna can, he's got the shorty ready. AZK is well able to support that with Ghost. They were able to set up a great crossfire. Now it's down to the 1v2. Somehow T1 have the advantage, but there's 10 seconds left. Hayes is just trying to play the time. That'll be the frag that comes through. Food now has to come through. That's the blast back. Oh, baby, from distance. The 3-pointer works out for Food. Considering it's a 3-stack, with T1 here, means that they're ready. There's the one way. Unfortunately, there's a flash. Now it's a showstopper. Sends it down, finds one, and finds the second with the spray. AZK with the crossfire. Archie pushing in. He will actually lose his life. But Brax sprays with the smoke towards the showers and sends him home. T1 tie us up 8-8.
Brax has already made it through, so we're going to have to play it off the Owl Drone. They know that there's one in there. Nice shock dart coming through here from the attacker side on a post plan situation. That's courtesy of Drone. So now they know 2 players are playing in there. A camera to spot both players. And now the curveball to come through. A face-to-face battle, but it's still going to be just that player trying to stay alive. It's going to be Sabrosa. He's on a 4 versus 2. They're still alive at this point. He's towards the back of A. He almost gets the second kill, but unfortunately it does not happen just from a recon arrow. But the time is not going to be in the favor here of T1.
Oh my goodness.
So they have Sheriff and Ghost. They keep that Bulldog and also the Vandal from the previous round. And we are trying to move in close, and it works out. Wardell gets the kill onto AZK with the shorty. He picks up the Phantom, and now Food is trying to push forward. But that's a week now, but we already have the rotation from T1 and from the spawn side. So one more ahead. We have the execution coming through, and now we have the girl step. That's part of the information for Food, but he still comes out to get a kill. It's a trade after trade, and the rifles are now ringing in from the past round, and Sabrosa gets the frag onto Brax. So the spike is still up, finally planted, but look at that. It's a 3 versus 1.
Skadoodle has the op in hand. A couple of cyber cages on the ground, and still, there aren't really that many weapons in the hands of TSM. Of course, I think that was a classic there, still on Cutler, but he's gonna tag Skadoodle, and now here comes the hunt. The hyenas are hungry, and they want that operator hand. That's gonna be the swing that they come through, and Skadoodle, he's gonna lose that operator as soon as he purchases it. Now, for the side of TSM, they are in the double digits. Not gonna tag him once, not even gonna tag him twice, not even thrice, but still, he's gonna have to run through the fire and the flames, but it's Sabrosa that pushes forward, finds 2. Skadoodle with the shock bolt. Drone mows him down as they push in the vents. But remember, this is the equal round for T1. Not a whole lot we can expect out of them. Only one ultimate available. I don't know how close everyone else is. And for AZK, that's unfortunate. Actually gets rid of the recon ult. Now going to play a little more aggressive. He's going to get burnt alive at the crisp with the hot hands.
Joke's over.
Back to strike the zone. Now that's the clone that comes through. It's quickly taken care of. They're holding on to this site. Here come the paint shells. Lobbed over the APC, but Skadoodle playing close with the op. Has to deal with, I believe it is Cutler on the opposite side. He's got the cyber cage, allowing him to retreat. Now going to be going into the connector. One on the opposite side. It's Sabrosa who swings wide. He's going to find one, but Food. He takes out Wardell. One of the star firepower players for TSM. Cutler really has to clutch this down. Headshot onto Brax. That's huge. And now all down to Food. It's Sabrosa back there watching the flank, and he takes out Food. A great round for TSM. So we'll see what ends up happening. T1 had a great attacker side, but since then the map is now defender sided. Sabrosa, early pick onto Food. Whoa. It's actually going very well here for TSM. They break open onto the site. They find 4 picks here. Or sorry, actually, yes, that is TSM. And now just down to one final player. It's Brax. He spotted out. And TSM, a flawless pistol. One now going to take the catwalk way. Wardell has to back out. He's got the door as well that's blocking off his potential retreat. But that door reopens, I believe. Skadoodle's going to open it back up. Now playing close to the 50, but there's a pot and plant in his way. And now coming in from behind, it's Sabrosa, TSM, with a great start here.
Oh yeah, and this time them just not stopping inside this B side. So we have shock darts from Skadoodle, but the curveball was perfect to get them both blinded, but they still managed to get those kills on a crossfire setup. They drop like flies. FaZe is the last man standing. Camera to be broken, and now spotted as Skadoodle swings out for the kill.
He's going to be on rotation duty. I'm not quite sure T1 expect this. So now FaZe setting things up with the paranoia. Wardell with the early op shot, but Skadoodle, as he starts to rotate through, will he be spotted out by Drone? He's making sure to cover his flank. He is, but still loses the gunfight. Crashes, though, holding on to the site. Eventually loses his life. And now just down to Brax. Has to take the duel with Drone, wins the duel. I think backing away is obviously the smarter play here.
One of the winning ways, and of course, keeping Wardell onto the Jet. Now Sabrosa and FaZe get into 3 openers towards this mid side, and just like that, they're on a 5 versus 2 here, Simo, with not much to work with.
And TSM feels like Brock Lee. They're just taking off the ankle weights. They're ready to fight. I don't even know what's happening. But the biggest problem for me is that I'm still trying to piece together in my head, and I can imagine Chad is saying KW caster, but
definitely
this is a defender-sided map. Why are we seeing TSM just absolutely mop the floor with T1 here?
So actually, he is committing into it. An off-shot missed by Skadoodle. That's unfortunate because usually he doesn't miss those. And then Brax is able to take down FaZe. So we have to act quick here. The Cypher, Wardell gets the kill on Skadoodle, but it's straight off by Brax. So Cutler, who was on that lurk, on a late lurk, has to try to win a 1 versus 1 versus Brax. And it is going to be Brax that wins it. He had to move a lot faster for Cutler.
Vansili, how are T1 going to defend this push?
Well, you see that they really want to take the advantage of pushing towards the spawn side for the attackers, so they smoked out towards the lane. They get the owl drone for the defenders, but as they take control of the shed and the market side, they're forcing the defenders to push through their own smokes or even through FaZe's dark cover, and they're just getting depicked. And it works out with a flawless round, a perfect execution for TSM. Execute towards A, but there you go. That rotation already comes back from AZK towards that garden. You have the smokes and the paranoia coming out here from the defender's side as Crashies does connect, but Joel still gets the kill onto Food. As the cyber cage dissipates, AZK already on a rotation, gets 2 kills, drops the spike carrier, but it's going to be redeemed and picked up here by Cutler very soon. You still have Crashies inside the site, but they are still committing towards this A side with 20 seconds left on the clock. They have to.
They have to get that spike down. Crashies, though, is going to deal with the generator player. It's Cutler. He comes through. And now spike going down. 14 seconds remain. But now that spike's in, Brack's going to do his due diligence and take out his alter ego. Now the 2v2. Let's see how Brax does it. He does have his teammate up on heaven, but Sabrosa playing towards the tree room and watching for any of those flanks. This gives Wardell a lot of space to play towards hell. But now the jig is up. And Neural Theft will spot out some of those players. Sabrosa gonna start to double back. Help out with the hot hands. Here comes the rotation, but Wardell smoking himself off. I think he hears one drop. Now through the smoke, finds Brax. Still one more player remains. Sabrosa, here comes the swing. It's Skadoodle. He's got to deal with 2. He finds 1. That's gonna be the recouple, but can he defuse in time? He needs to stick it, and bros don't fake. Here's the swing, and Sabrosa puts us at 8-2.
Right now.
And Sabrosa, he's going to be anticipating a push forward. Going to find 1. There's the spray transfer. Still 1 more remains. It's Crashies. And that's another round here for TSM. That'll be kind of the biggest question mark for me. You know, considering Sabrosa's taken over that role for Drone. And now we're seeing an early push. Sabrosa, speaking of first blood, that's going to send Brax. Of course, there is the refrag. And so now the 4v4. And, you know, we haven't really talked about this, but if TSM win the pistol, it could potentially put them at match point. I mean, we have said this is a defender-sided map, but we've seen previously at the T1 showdown that T1 play a pretty mean attacker side too, and it was really ultimately what put TSM in a lost position on that first map. We're now going to find another one. Now it's the 3v4, and this pistol's already looking real good for TSM.
That's right, a 3 versus 4. Spike Elite still up now for T1 as they're regrouping now from this mid side to B main. Only 1 player playing in there, but technically the camera is going to give enough. Watching from the catwalk side, so he's okay to let these guys plant. And then he's just going to wait for his teammates to rotate back. Just going for a couple of bursts through the smoke, not able to get any kills. Now he's falling back towards that spawn, and it's actually going to be 4 players that are going to move through here towards the spawn side into B.
No, I think that was a tripwire that was able to see Food pushing in, because I was like, how did they see him? How did they tag one? I think it was
they had the camera too. Color was playing the camera towards B main.
I was like, how did Drone send an arrow all the way across the map? I was like, that's impressive. But now they push in, a shot's gonna start to come through. They need to be careful because already TSM's there. They find two. One more remains. He's backside. It's Food. And down to the graveyard. The muck of the swamp here. He goes as TSM put us 11-2.
Now they're splitting into this site again on the retake for TSM. So it's a 5 versus 5. It's going to be a bloodbath here, Simo.
Yeah, it's going to be Wardell that finds the early pick. It's not Sabrosa. Crashies. He's going to see one. Sprays with the Spectre, and it works out well. AZK as well. It's only Sabrosa that is able to answer for some of the spins that have been committed by the other members. But now as they jump in, it's Skadoodle and AZK that defend the site. And they deny match point here.
That was thrown here from Crashies as Wardell is going to push forward, and he does get the buckshot into Food. So at that point, that's going to be one player down, a weapon salvage. Cutler pushing forward, getting a frag, and Sabrosa doing the same thing. Somehow they're turning the round over here, looking for a flawless as a spike is down for the attackers. Crashies pushing through, is able to spot Cutler to force him back towards his B side. But as they have now 5 players, a 3-player crossfire set up inside the market, you're pretty much done for, Crashies. One to swing across, he gets a dink but no kills, but because he only had a Spectre at that point, very tough to do. And Brax, as he lurks, pretty much at this point, trying to lurk on a 5 versus 1, 30 seconds left on the clock, is alive here in this series.
Yeah, Wardell now, he's going to be the first contact point, and if he survives, if he finds 2, it's money, but unfortunately it's just coins. Now there's going to be a couple of kills traded just down to the last and final player. It's Cutler. And that spike, of course, going to be going down very shortly here for T1, just clearing some of the back corners there to make sure that there's no pesky TSM player lurking. Cutler likely looking to just save some
other players dead, right? I think even one of them was a flawless round too, when they were trying to pinch in towards his mid side, which they're doing again.
Wow. That's very unfortunate when you try to hop through and you're looking for support. Wardell finds another. This could be the ticket here. TSM fans rejoice as we are nearing the potential end here for the last and final map. FaZe now going to swing forward. AZK will answer back, and Cutler now trying to rotate from the back, but that spikes down, and T1 have to work all the way back around to get it. Sabrosa holding down this angle. Brax on the opposite side, now going to try to dry peek through. Does not have the support of his team. Wardell going to be looking towards the fish market. Here's the swing, spots out Sabrosa, headshot's good, and here comes Wardell, jumps up, and he will go back down immediately now as that spike still not picked up. Here's the swing. Brax will fall down to one final player. It's AZK. Headshot's good. Now the 1v2. The smokes go down, but has to push in regardless. That spike is in enemy territory. There are 40 seconds left that remain. Now the smokes slowly going to subside. It is going to be Cutler and Wardell. He has to push in. Only has the Molotov. That's going to be the Blade Storm. He gets spotted out. Has to push forward. It's Cutler. It's Cutler. It's Cutler. Wins the final frag here for TSM. And they win the best of 3 against T1.